Oh,
Okay, perfect. So hello, everyone. My name is Natasha Nurse. I am the host of the Sisters on Fire IRL series. And the beautiful woman virtually next to me is Renita Hunt. She is a superwoman. So I want you to share with everyone, what do, how you got started, all of that good stuff. Then we'll take it from there.
awesome, awesome. I just blankly say I am a servant leader. And how do I
Mm,
serve? By being an empowerment speaker, a digital marketing executive, a nonprofit leader, and a serial entrepreneur. And so
mm,
all of those areas of my life, I find success because I walk into it by serving others.
mm. Gotcha. Absolutely. Okay. And how did you get started on this journey? Like, what part did you start first? Was it the community? Was it the entrepreneurship? What part did you start first with?
Absolutely. I started my career in marketing communications. I was a workaholic. I was working all the time. And I said, when I turn 60 years old, I'm going to give back. I'm going to start this business when I'm 60 years old. It was like on my goal list. And
Okay.
life happens. I relocated to Orlando, Florida from Atlanta. Had time, was selling a house, trying to get back into networking and learning the new community where I was housed. And I said, let me just start volunteering a couple days a week. And
Hmm.
what should I do? I said, I'm really not like a person who wants to serve food or pick up trash. And those are noble things that we need people to do. But that just was
Absolutely.
not my talent and skill set. So I said, remember Dress for Success? I used to give them suits once a year. I said, let me go down there and see what's going on with that nonprofit. And I started one day a week going to play dress up with the women. And boy, I thought I was going to give them fashion tips and tell them what the color of the season was.
Yeah.
And they really gave back to me. It empowered me, it
Mm.
grew me. And so it started from 1 hour a week to 2 hours a week to one time I was in the boutique and I was talking and they said, what is your background? We need you on the board. And so went to a board meeting, was voted on the board and started as events director and kind of worked my way up to now I've been the president for the last 4 years here in Greater
Wow.
Orlando.
Very cool.
And all of that is through giving back and volunteering. I don't get paid for that seat that I hold, but it is so empowering and nurturing to the ladies and communities that we serve, but also to
Yeah.
myself. That it's something that no matter how busy I get, I said, I've got to give back. I've got to keep doing that.
I love that. Okay. And then I'd love for you to talk about serial entrepreneur because I don't know if everyone knows what that term means. So break that down for people.
That means you just have a lot of ideas and you know how to connect the dots. You say,
Hmm.
okay, we need some food. Somebody needs produce on Wednesday over here.
Hmm.
I know where to get that. Could I go and buy a couple of boxes and sell it to these people and make a couple of dollars, make some gas
Hmm.
money? You know,
Hmm.
everything that we do in business, I think um, what handicaps us a lot of times, we think we all have to be about $1 million projects. And it's
Yeah,
really about little here, little there, and then it
absolutely.
all becomes a real wealthy pot for you. And so
Hmm.
I do everything from, I do a lot of what Gary V talks about, a lot of the flipping economy. I've gotten heavily into that
Mm.
because I
Mm.
love to shop. And I said, hey, I'm not going to use this, but this is something I know that is of value for somebody else. Let me buy it and sell it. And
Hmm.
so that's been helpful. Getting into Forex, foreign exchange, marketing consulting. So just a lot of different things, not just one
Hmm.
thing. I don't want to say I'm in the beauty business or I'm in this business. No, I do it all. And I'm always open to hearing about new opportunities and how to grow myself and what's the next
Awesome.
level thing coming down the pipe.
Perfect. Okay. And how do you identify those like new opportunities? Is it through networking? Is it through kind of industry research or other things?
I think it's through networking and just having a pulse of what's going on. Going through
Mm-hmm.
social media, if you hear a couple people talking about this and you're like, me getting involved with cryptocurrency and
Yeah.
foreign exchange, a couple years ago, I heard about it and I was like, well, what's that? I don't know what that really is. And then
Mm-hmm.
I started seeing it in Forbes would do like something, and then Fast Company would do something, and then
Mm-hmm.
another Money Magazine would do something, and then it's like, okay, start kind of connecting the dots. But
Gotcha.
none of my personal network was talking about it. But I kept saying it was these buzzwords that are happening that I
Mm-hmm.
need to be tuned into. And so it's very impactful so just being in tune to those types of things. I think one of the things that's on the horizon in a lot of places is the cannabis market. A lot of people are
Yes.
saying, how negative this is.
Yeah.
You've got to be plugged into this. Everything from packaging, the whole,
Mm-hmm.
product cycle. It's changing the game, and this is the
Mm-hmm.
time to get in if you can get in
Mm-hmm.
and partner. It's a very open economy to where people are willing to partner right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
very expensive to get in at the top, but there's some people who say, hey, let's get a group, let's do this, let's do that.
Yep,
So being
absolutely.
open to those opportunities that are out there.
Love it. Okay. And what would you say has been like the biggest lesson that you've learned from all of the different ventures you've been a part of?
Have good people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, have a strong spiritual core, because
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to know, should I work with this person? Should I take this deal? And it's not what the person is telling you, is deeper than that. And so you have to have a
Mm-hmm.
strong spiritual connection and be able to discern what is right and what is wrong in your path.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And what would you say has been the biggest challenge or challenges that you've learned so far?
Hiring people. Um, hiring people in the sense of getting good people who
Mm-hmm.
want to be coachable. And then when you do get a good team of people, you know that having a child and being a good teacher is that eventually those people are going to fly away from you. So you have to
Yeah.
start the process again. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest emotional
Mm-hmm.
roller coaster of it all, is investing in people, getting it right, getting in a groove, and then they're
Yeah.
saying, you know, I got this opportunity, and you're like, go, we're still going to be connected, but
Yeah.
it will hurt. It is going to stop process for a minute, but I say it's the biggest honor for someone to say, you taught me so much, and now I've gone to
Yes.
the next level.
Absolutely. Very, very cool. Okay. And from marketing and kind of your communications background, what would you say is key for businesses who are looking to raise awareness around their brand and really focus on storytelling? What are keys that you teach your clients and the businesses you work with?
Yes, right now I'm in marketing, but I'm on the talent acquisition side. So the biggest thing in recruiting right
Mm.
now is to have a marketing person,
Mm-hmm.
because totally in the digital space we don't have enough storytellers. And
Mm-hmm.
so if
Mm-hmm.
you're in marketing, if you're graduating now in the next couple of weeks,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you are a good storyteller. And I
Mm.
mean, you can take content and break it down and say the story needs to be told in IG this way, in LinkedIn this way, in Facebook this way, because it's not just we made one content and it could go across several platforms. So
Mm-hmm.
somebody who can do that is going to be the person who wins.
Mm.
And it's not a skill that you see in the marketplace
Mm-hmm.
very often. And people who've been in the business, it's been hard to kind of move and change and be flexible to, okay, I've got to adapt now. We have different channels and we have to talk to
Mm-hmm.
these people differently. And it's faster. It's not like TV where we have these long timelines and we can take a whole year to do one 30-second commercial. No,
Yeah.
this is like, we need new content every couple of weeks to stay relevant. So great
Absolutely.
storytelling.
Okay. All right. And what would you say are mediums of your choice that you love? Like, so do you prefer social media? Do you prefer podcasting, blogging, vlogging? What do you think is the mediums that have worked well for you in your business and or people you work with?
I would say social media.
Okay.
Um, and I think that you broke out a couple things that I think can encompass within social media. So I think podcasting is still relevant within the social media space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but meeting people where they are, and they're online
Mm-hmm.
some point in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hopping, scrolling, seeing. And
Yeah.
so you've got to be there. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
be there
Mm-hmm.
in different ways. Video, what we're doing now, live, pics, testimonials, all
Mm-hmm.
kind of relevant content.
Love it. Okay. And when it comes to your career, how would you say it's been affected being a woman and also being a person of color?
I think that my differences have been an advantage to me. I won't say that they've been a disadvantage. I've been lucky
Mm-hmm.
enough to be asked to be on tables where I've always been the youngest person in the room,
Mm-hmm.
and an African American and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's played out. Oh, we've got to do
Mm-hmm.
this on Facebook. Okay, who's our target? A 16-year-old. Why are we doing it on Facebook? Did somebody think
Mm.
about Snapchat? So,
Yeah.
being that voice in the room and being confident to express
Mm.
yourself in that
Yeah.
space as well. And that takes a lot of grooming and mentoring through your path. And anyone who's listening, I definitely recommend getting a good mentoring and support system with you
Mm-hmm.
as you go through your journey, because that's how you birth out your true self. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was not this person 10 years ago. And people are
Mm-hmm.
always like, oh, well, you're speaking to all these people and all these audiences. And I'm like, I was not this person. I used to almost throw up just giving a annual
Mm.
report to 20 people in the room, and would study all night and all week. And now
Mm.
it comes effortlessly because
Interesting.
took the time, did the work, and my true self came out. And so have to take
Mm-hmm.
that time to find out who you are, what your
Mm-hmm.
purpose is, and then you can walk in confidence after that.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And since you brought that up, was there a moment that helped you kind of realize your inner aha moment? Was it an experience? Was it people? What helped you kind of get in tune with you more to realize your own purpose?
Absolutely. I would say the volunteering with Dress for Success. And that's why that is
Nice.
my platform of using giving back as your ultimate professional and career development platform.
Mm.
Because did not have the leadership opportunities, had some leadership opportunities, but it was kind of like, well, okay, now you're a director. Okay, well, I don't know how to be a director. And now I'm speaking and doing all these things, and I haven't really been properly
Mm-hmm.
groomed to do that. And so through Dress for Success, it was all about, we just need you to get up and tell your story and empower these women. And whatever you have to give to them will be of value.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it was 5 to 10 minutes, it started to build those blocks in me that said, okay, 10 minutes, all right, nobody died, everybody said it was good, okay, 15 minutes, okay, all right, this is getting better, I don't need notes, I
Beautiful.
can remember this stuff, I'm not blacking out, this is okay, all right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling good about myself, I've got this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like an athlete training. And so many
Mm-hmm.
times in the business world, we're moving so fast on one track that we don't
Mm-hmm.
get to build those other skills that we need to be an effective leader.
Mm. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I love that. Okay. Now, when it comes to public speaking, I
Hmm.
as well do public speaking, and I love it.
Okay.
I think it's a wonderful way to connect with audiences. It's a way to
Hmm.
continue to build and really perfect your craft, which I think is
Yes.
critical.
Hmm.
Now, do you have like little tips that you do to kind of keep you calm and collected, and then kind of in tune with what you want to say, even if you don't memorize it? What do you do to like get prepared?
You know, honestly, it's really last minute now. It's almost like I've trained my mind through reading. I think maybe reading is part of my developing my skill, is that I'm always putting good stuff in my brain, so when I need to pull something out, I got it to pull out.
Yep.
Um the day before, I just kind of, not the day before, but if it's a big speaking engagement, I know what the topic is. I kind of just outline and say, okay, we're going to start here. I'm going to give about me, go talk about my dress for success, give 3 points, and kind of
Mm-hmm.
close. And then I let it just flow from there.
Mm.
So the outline is powerful to kind of let me know where I want to touch, and kind of let my brain know, okay, let's kind of um, pace it out like this, so you don't sound scatterbrained. Because sometimes you can
Mm-hmm.
hear a speaker and you're like, okay, they were over here, then they went way over there, and then I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe we'll come back sometime side tomorrow. But I try to make sure I always have an outline, so I'm walking away and I'm leaving everybody with tangible meat that they said, wow, this is what I learned from Renita Hunt today.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. All right. Yeah. I mean, for me, I would say my biggest thing as a speaker is really working on energy. Too many people
Hmm.
get up before in front of people and they're just
Yes.
like, so today we're gonna, and it's just like, who the hell wants to listen to that? No,
Yes.
you need a,
Yes.
like be a
Yes.
hype person,
Yes.
right? And you need to get people excited and present in the moment. And I completely agree. Tangible, takeable pieces of information is super important, not just kind of this overview of abstract concepts. People are tactical
Mm-hmm.
and they give you like 2 seconds of their attention. So you got to really kind of get in
Absolutely.
there and hammer it down. So I encourage
Mm-hmm.
people to work on energy, work on smiling, act like you want to be here, act like this isn't your desk,
Yes.
like
Yes.
stuff like
And I
that.
tell
So,
people it hurts. They're like, you always look so presentable when you're on a panel. And I'm like, I just, if my cheeks are hurting and I'm on the panel, I know that it's working.
absolutely, absolutely. It's a
And
constant,
so
yeah, people.
especially when I speak to people of color who are wanting to be a speaker, going into speaking, we have to work double and triple hard, because if we don't have that energy, or we don't look like we're happy to be there and excited, people are like, angry
Yeah,
person alert, no. And so you're giving off the wrong vibes. And so um,
yeah.
some people have to work a little bit more at that than
Mm-hmm,
others. Um,
mm-hmm.
but I always say, have a good time. Have a good time. I talk
Absolutely.
about stories about myself and laugh, and people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you told that story. One of the stories I tell on the stage a lot is the story of me being fired by Ted Turner. I was his personal receptionist.
Mm,
And
mm,
I'm like, I can laugh about that now. I cry big tears after that, but I said I can laugh about that now and tell that story. But the story
mm-hmm,
of that is being prepared and having people in your life to guide you, to know
mm-hmm.
how you need to act when you're with a Ted Turner, so you don't
Absolutely.
mess it up. Yes.
Absolutely. So now, being that we're here for the Sisters on Fire platform, I'd like to kind of talk a little bit more about what Sisters on Fire is all about. So it
Yes,
was,
absolutely.
it's a play that started over 10 years ago, originally called Diary of a Mad Black Feminist by Professor Anissa
Ooh.
Moore and Marcia McNair. Yeah. And they've had several sold out performances in the
Okay.
city and across the tri-state area. And so I started the Sisters on Fire IRL series because I wanted to, in between productions, to really keep the fire blazing and really focus on like real
Nice.
life women, yeah, like yourself, who are unapologetic, who are badass, who are making effectual change in our society, especially for women,
Mm-hmm.
especially for people of color. So when you hear the words Sistas on Fire, what does that mean to you?
Blazing trails. Blazing
Mm,
trails. People are
yes.
like, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you recommended that. I'm like, somebody has to. And then the next thing you know, they're like, we should have did that 20 years ago. But you
Yes,
have to be confident and you have to just blaze your trail. You have to keep your torch up and walk right through that forest. So that's a sister on
absolutely.
fire.
I
And
love
when
that.
I
Love
do
that
that, I
answer.
say, I bring my auntie Oprah, as I call her, and auntie Michelle,
Mhm.
and walk strong and say, hey, we're doing it. We're doing it.
Absolutely. And with that, who in your life, either personally or professionally, were Sisters on Fire for you?
So many, I can't just name just one. Um, but
Mhm.
I will say a strong person that I just followed throughout her whole career from her beginnings was Oprah, and how
Mhm.
she's
Mhm.
evolved over time,
Yeah.
and changed and been able to pivot and move. And it hasn't always been success. There's been some failures, and she's gone through that in the public eye. But seeing
Mhm.
how she's navigated through has been awesome inspiration to see.
Absolutely. I love that. Shout out to Oprah. Yes, yes, yes. And the
Yes,
OWN network and the
yes,
everything she does. She is magic. She is everything. So
yes.
yes,
I
yes,
see
yes,
that
absolutely.
Sisters on Fire 2020 with Oprah.
Hey, you manifested. So yes, baby. Yes. I would love it. That would make my life. That'd be amazing. Uh, now, I'd love for you to also talk a little bit about kind of what's going on with you. So how can people champion you? Do you have upcoming events, things that you want people to kind of tune into and attend, buy? Like what's going on in your very diverse world?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody can go to my website, Social Nita. Social, like social media, and then Nita, NITA.com. And I took
Okay.
that word, that's my personal brand, because people would always say, you're a socialite, you're social Nita, you're social Nita. And I said, hey, that's it. That's my brand. So that's my brand
Okay.
website. If you go there and sign up, you can get a passion worksheet that kind of helps you figure out what are my passions and giving back. Where should I tailor? Should it be for young children, women, pets? What is it? You can figure that
Mm,
out with that worksheet. So that's a free download. I will be having some upcoming. I'm working on some products, some career mentoring products. So what is always I'm asked about is career planning
mhm,
worksheets. Where do I go to the next level of my corporate career? And so since I'm in the recruiting space, have a lot of knowledge in that. And so I'll be having that coming soon. So stay connected with me on social media. Also on
mhm,
all the social media platforms, social media on Instagram and Facebook, as
mhm.
well as you can follow me on LinkedIn, Renita Hunt.
Perfect. Okay, I shared that. Okay, awesome.
If
And I guess I do want to go back really quickly to you talking about kind of coming from a place of gratitude and really giving back with Dress for Success. So
Yes,
is that something that you think women, especially entrepreneurs, definitely need to incorporate in their busy schedules? And if so, what's step one to make sure that they are tuning in to being grateful each and every day, each and every week, each and every month, and beyond?
absolutely. So the first thing I think you need to do is just think of opportunities socially you can
Hmm.
connect with. And so when it's your birthday, it's Mother's Day, it's girls' night out, guys' night
Hmm.
out. How can we do, dining for a cause, shopping for a cause, some type of
Mm,
5K, exercise for a cause event that we were going to pay money anyway and go eat, but we're giving back to an organization. And so that's easily and
mm,
effortlessly.
that's great.
Sometimes I say, lately my husband and I have been on the kick of, hey, we want to go on a great date night. Let's go to a gala. Let's get dressed up and let's go. So then that's given us a great date night, and we've given all that money back to a great cause. So it's a win-win-win. The other part is for your educational development. Too many times we're in a position, we're a mid-manager, and we don't know how to get to the next level. Through our reviews, we've heard we need to get more leadership skills. We need to work on bigger budgets. We need to manage larger teams. And we just have not had the opportunity to do that. And so through giving back and volunteering with the organization, you can do that. There's many committees that you can volunteer on, as well as anything from administration work up to board leadership work. So you can work on a small project and get that case study and say, I grew the fundraising for this event by 40%. I did it this way. Boom, here was my plan. You know,
Very
so then
smart.
you have that extra skill set behind you. And then lastly, again, is through learning and growing and development, again, within volunteering. We have a plethora of opportunities because we're a nonprofit. We have opportunities for our clients that we also pass on to our board members and volunteers, whether it's getting additional certifications, going to classes that are offered to us free. Just because you gave your time to the organization, we can give back to you and what you need to learn. So those are just some few ways that you can easily plug in with a nonprofit in your local community, make an impact there, but also make an impact for yourself. And don't be afraid to talk about those opportunities right along with your professional opportunities. It's one and the same. A lot of times people want to say, well, I have this professional life and then I do this other stuff on the side. No, it's all one thing. You know, I'm a marketing manager and, I'm a finance director at Dress for Success. Wow. How do you do both of that? Well, actually, I grew the fundraising through being the finance director on this committee by 40%. How did you do that? Well, we ran a Facebook giving campaign, and this is how I did it. Boom, boom, boom. I would love to bring that to this organization.
Smart. Very smart. You are a sister on fire. I mean, I love that. I love that. Awesome. And then I guess just my last question is, being that you acknowledge that, you aren't the same woman you were 10 years ago, I guess, what would you say to yourself 10 or 15 years ago to, now knowing what you do know, and maybe that will help someone who's earlier on in the stage of their business or just kind of coming into their own authentic self?
Read. So many times I have conversations with people and they say, I don't have time to read. Oh, I tried to read a book, I go to sleep. It's going to take me a whole year to do a book. And I'm like, it takes a while to build that skill back up. When I left college, I remember telling my favorite professor, she said, oh, you'll be back in school in about 2 years. I said, I'm never coming back to school. I'm out of here. She was like, no, you'll be back. And actually I did come back. I got my master's, but you still have to grow yourself, still reading. And so I think it's a lost art just overall. We have social media, we have all these tools that I always have a book. I have a book right here that book that I'm rereading.
That series, but I just reread The Secret. I love you so much right now. Amazing. Amazing. You're the Bob. Love it. Yes.
Even as you start to have success in your life, you are always striving for something else, and you always have to pivot and make moves. And so I was saying, I just feel like I need to pick this book back up and read it again and go through the exercises again. And that's what I'm doing now. Another good book that I give to all the graduates and young people. Please give the gift of reading to young people. I give them Think
Yes.
and Grow Rich.
Yes. Oh, I'll share that.
M-
Yes. That book is
Middle,
phenomenal. Absolutely.
middle school, high school, they're like, you're giving me this? Yes, because if
Mm-hmm.
somebody would have told me those principles then, you
Mm-hmm.
might not even understand it, but it's building a foundation. It's building a
Absolutely.
foundation.
Absolutely.
So that's good. Strength Finders by Tom Rath is very good if you have not done
Okay.
that, into
Okay.
identifying what your talents are,
Mm-hmm.
and your strengths. And so his philosophy is not focusing on your weaknesses, is that you
Mm,
should focus on your strengths, talents to be a better, productive human being.
definitely.
And so
Mm-hmm.
goes through there's a little test that you take, and it kind of identifies what quadrant you're in, and you say, yes, this is why I react like this is why this
Yeah.
makes perfect sense. And once you have an understanding of who
Mm-hmm.
you are, I think from taking tests like that, personality test as well,
Yeah.
in conjunction into finding your passion, you just become a person on fire. And that's what I believe
Mm.
makes you a sister on fire. When you know who you are and what you're
Yes.
passionate about, and you do that, you're
Absolutely.
on fire.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I started an online book club, Dressing Roommate Book Club. And yeah, it was just because
Oh,
I completely agree with you. I felt like I wasn't reading enough. And reading
mm-hmm,
actually makes me like feel calmer. It makes me feel happier.
mm-hmm.
It makes me feel more competent. I feel like when I'm not reading enough, my brain is just like losing
Yes.
energy and like intellect. I'm like, oh my God, this is
Mm-hmm.
horrible. So I read one book a month, but really my goal is to read between like 4 to 10 books, but usually I'm closer to 4, but
Yeah.
it depends. I read personal development, comic books, love
Mm-hmm.
books, like everything, right? It's not,
Mm-hmm.
you just
Mm-hmm.
mix it all in, but your brain, if you're not feeding your brain every day, you're not living. Like it's so important for people. So I love that you
And
said that. That's amazing.
and what I just identified with that is that your strong talent strength is a learner. And
Mm,
so when you read, that makes you feel very good and feel accomplished when you're learning something. So
definitely.
definitely check out Strength Finders 2.0. You'll be
That's
amazed. It'll blow you away.
okay. I will definitely Strength Finders 2.0. All right, cool. And then with that, again, can you just share how can people champion you? Where do they go so that they have that?
Socialnita.com, Social Nita
Mhm.
on IG and Facebook, and Renita S. Hunt on LinkedIn.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Renita, for sharing
Thank
so much
you.
wisdom and having such an amazing
Aw,
conversation, being a sister on fire, and I'm just grateful for everything that you're doing and all
thank
the
you.
great messaging that you're putting out for women younger, older. Just you're dope. You're amazing. So thank you.
Grateful for this platform, and keep doing what you're doing and being the sister on fire yourself. Take care.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everyone.